When does the spring market usually start? Depends on who you ask.
Yeah. I went out with a client this weekend and the price point was like in the mid 8s. And I was like, well, look, things have been a little slow. It's kind of still the winter. I went under agreement yesterday.
It can be the difference of $50,000 just like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or more sometimes. I had a client who purchased in July of last year. Their rate was 7. And I was talking to them yesterday and she's like, I just refinanced and I'm at 6. Her monthly is down $1,000 a month.
Wow.
That's
That's
huge.
crazy.
All right, guys, as we head into the spring market, are you guys noticing anything already from buyers, from sellers? What are you seeing?
I mean, things seem to be busy already. The phone's ringing, people are calling. We were just talking today that there's a lot of attendance. Attendance is high, rather, at open houses. And properties that had been slow, all of a sudden, it's like first of the year, boom, things are happening, things are moving.
We have had a couple properties, right, that were sitting on the market when it was slower at the end of last year that are already getting attention or offers.
Yeah.
Some relisted. That's kind of exciting momentum. And it's not technically spring market. When does the spring market usually start? Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like it's different every year. And it seems to be shifting earlier and earlier. But generally, I wouldn't consider it spring market till at least February.
End of February.
And but now, I mean, I had tons of people through both of my open houses this weekend and already have offers. And I had to set deadlines on both.
On both of them?
On both
Even
properties.
the one that was sitting on the market last year?
Even the one that was sitting on.
Boy,
so,
if that's not a signal.
I've already gotten 2 offers on it. So, like,
Oh my God.
I know. So things are really, really changing from last year. It was like that switch of
Last
5
year,
to
4
6.
weeks ago?
Yeah. Last year that felt like yesterday.
yeah.
I was just talking to an agent that said, I feel like I have whiplash from like the sudden change.
Are you seeing it like in all price points, or are we talking more just...
So I happen to have things in a lower price point right now, but I have something on private exclusive definitely at a higher price point, and I've gotten tons of calls on it. So, I mean, I think it's just going to be busy, at least to start, which is what happened last year. And then it came to a screeching halt. So let's capitalize on what we got.
I guess, to that point, it's less about the perfect week and a little bit more about when is the demand out there, right? So if the market's hot, you don't have to wait for a specific date. You can jump on that because that's when the buyers are. What happened last year? It was the tariff talk, like the market was hot and then kind of late March, early April.
Trump came into office, January 20th?
right.
And so there was probably a lot of uncertainty. And so people were trying to get in under the gun, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then, once his first couple months in office, that's when we saw a bit of a slow down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, from the buy side, I went out with a client this weekend and the price point was like in the mid 8s. And she's asking, are there going to be a lot of people looking at this? Like, what do you think? And I was like, well, look, things have been a little slow. It's kind of still the winter. We can, let's think about it. Call me. We can see it again. I went under agreement yesterday. I took her to see it on Sunday morning and she's like, it just went under contract, which I think was a misstep on the agent's part.
Totally.
And I told my client that. I said, if she knew I was going in on Sunday morning and had an offer, she should have said, hey, I have an offer you want to submit. She did a disservice to her clients.
That's crazy.
By not bringing in multiples, right?
I mean, absolutely. That's always the goal,
but it was just
right?
interesting too, because, we were like, it's like you said, Amy, whiplash. All of a sudden I was like, oh, that and it was in the mid 8s. It wasn't like,
good price point.
Soft price point.
That might give like a strategic advantage for people that are in tune with the market, like you, like all of us, where some seller agents may have this mindset of where the market was at late last year, right? And so if you've got a buyer that's hot to trot and the property may get multiple offers, you can kind of leverage their fear from the previous market to kind of get your buyer's offer accepted quickly.
I think that's totally true. People have been trying to do that with me and I haven't fallen for it yet. But on the buy side, I definitely agree with that mindset. And, I totally agree that was a misstep on that.
Oh, 100%.
And that's the worst because it's their misstep, but it makes you feel bad, you know? And you're like, I know you were going to offer on that or you might have, and it really sucks. But
well, when I'm in those situations, I always think about like, look, there's a lot of great agents in our town. Like we know a lot of them, we know all of them, right? But I think about sometimes and I'm like, who you work with and how you choose your agent. Like these are not things you can predict when you hire somebody. But then in hindsight, and this seller may never know that there was a potential another offer on the table.
Yeah.
Right?
And on the other side,
they won't. The agent's not going to tell them.
Yeah. And making sure that, who you're working with, that they understand the importance of communicating with another agent. Like, hey, I may have an offer coming in. Let me know what your client thinks. I'll hold the offer if you need it. You know, would have been super smart for her. And
it can be the difference of $50,000 just like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or more sometimes.
And I have empathy for the seller on the other side.
Totally.
Of course, empathy for my buyer as well. She's fine. She'll find something else. But
there we go.
I felt like a lot of empathy for the seller in that moment. Like
when you say mid-8 millions, right?
Not this one.
That's one of those times where you hope it closes and it closes for like $1 million, and you can just be like, well, now we know why they took it, and you don't.
Or they took an offer for $799, and could have had $865.
So Amy, you said you also had something at a little bit of a higher price point. It's on Compass Private Exclusive, so kind of pre-marketing.
Yeah.
And you've gotten a couple calls already. How can you use those inquiries and that data to help you maybe strategically, how can that impact when you come on the market? Because I know you've been flexible with pricing before and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things is that I've actually shown it a couple times to agents who I know, and I'm floating these ranges and trying to gauge their
one price for one agent.
No. You say 1.3, and if they drop dead on the ground, then you're like, oh, maybe that was not the right price. Yeah. But if they just kind of, they're like, this seems reasonable, then I kind of know that I'm in the right range. And what I've told my sellers on that property is we've already had 2 showings and 5 calls, and it hasn't been that on Private Exclusive that long, so we can probably push the price on the higher end of the range that we talked about in December.
You did that once last year, I remember, and you pushed the price. I know, I love the story, because you got some great data points, you did some showings, and then a couple agents were already telling you, hey, I want to put an offer in for my client. And then you pushed the price up and still got multiple offers. So that kind of pre-marketing data points can really have a huge impact.
Yeah.
Totally, because in the in that 700, that was in the mid 7s.
Yep.
And at that price point, you can't price it too low. There's only so far it's going to go up. And so we moved it up just 25,000, and then it went up almost 50,000 from there, but it might not have if we had seen it. Yeah, it's great. It's an awesome tool. I use it. I like to use it a lot, and we'll put it on coming soon. Tomorrow, I guess, and really see if we get more traction on it before it even goes live.
Another interesting Compass tool that we can leverage is this reverse prospecting tool. So how does anybody want to share how that works?
Well, there's reverse prospecting and also buyer demand, right? They do similar things where if you are listing a property, you can go into buyer demand, the tool that we have, and see how many buyers within the Compass ecosystem match the listing that you have.
At a certain price point.
At a certain price point, right. And that allows you to be able to provide valuable data to your seller. Or, if we're making a pitch to get a listing, it's a very valuable tool to be able to say to a potential seller, hey, we have all this data, we have already all these built-in buyers for you potentially, even before we list it publicly.
And even to find which price point. So if at this price point there's 10%,
right?
And if we lower it 10,000, you have 85%, right? It's it's helping them find where their niche is.
Yep.
Right. So especially with those big round numbers, if you're what happens, I think it's worth $1,050,000, but what happens if I go just under $1 million? And if you find out that, hey, if you're above $1 million, you have 1,000 people watching this property. But if you go just under it, you have 1,400 potential buyers that are going to have eyes on that property. that's helpful in making that decision.
100%. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reverse prospecting, then you can actually contact the agent
Right.
who matches, whose
Yes.
client matches that property. And that's one of my favorite things, because I like to be like, hey, I see that your client is like looking at my property. Do you want to get in earlier? Do you have any questions on it? And make sure you come to the open house and stuff.
So break that one down a little bit. So you go live on a property and it's like an extra step that you can do to get in front of the agents. How does it work?
You don't even have to be live. So that can also be during private exclusive, is when actually I use it the most, actually before it goes on the market. I would say it's building the buzz. So you can click on reverse prospecting and it will show you all the agents whose client has a collection where your property has landed.
Yeah.
But you can also see how many times they've clicked on it and if they favorited it.
Yeah.
So that part's really fun.
Yep.
I can be like, your client
like
really
spying.
likes it. It is totally, it feels like spying. It feels very like, I'm really...
Secret agent-ish.
It does feel kind of secret agent, but it's only within Compass and everyone agrees to it.
We've got a lot of little tools in our Compass platform to leverage.
I think that one of the benefits of this merger, that we have now, the Compass just closing all these.
Controversial statement coming. No,
Well, I think probably one of the first things, everything's going to remain separate, but one of the first things they may try to integrate is that system. So we'll have access to even more ability to see off-market properties for our clients.
There's that. I'm glad you brought that up but also back to your point about this buyer demand tool or reverse prospecting, when you have a little bit more data, that makes the tools more impactful.
Sure.
And so it's really about how do we set our clients up for success and take these tools and make them like, oh my gosh, that helped our strategy this much, and our end result was we sold it for more and faster. And pricing is you want to nail that right.
You really do.
Yeah.
What do you think clients are often most surprised about once they start working with us?
How cool I am.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No, it depends on the buyer. I think like first-time buyers are always obviously really nervous and worried and anxious. And I think once they start, assuming they're working with somebody who's skilled and knows what they're doing, that it's easier, I think, than they think.
Yeah.
There was moments and there's, ups and downs and challenges and bumps, but I think once they get in it, they're like, oh, this is not that bad. And then if you have an agent who's, affable and personable and can, I think I find that buyers tend to think it's easier than they expected.
Yeah.
Even though it can be like, nerve-wracking and whatnot for them. And, that's our job, right? To help them like, hey, we got this. And show them that there's a system, there's a way, there's a plan. I often have snacks in my car.
Yeah.
A little water. It's, they get through it.
And to your point, the first-time home buyers, they really love that consultation, right? That initial consultation where you take them through the purchase process from start to finish. How do we work together? What does the lender do? What does a pre-approval do? Do you guys notice any specific points that you make in those consultations that people really find helpful? They had no idea. For example, people don't know how long it takes to buy a house, right? And so once you go under agreement, how long until you close? Well, if you're getting financing, maybe there's about 7 to 10 days from offer to purchase and sale, and sometimes from purchase and sale to closing, could be another 30 days, more or less. And people are like, wow, I had no idea. You could have told them a week or 4 months, right? So what do you guys talk about at the consultation?
Well, I think for your original question, I think people are both, regardless of whether you're selling or buying, probably just how easy we try to make the process. How white glove the process is in terms of the things we do, the tools that we have to make it a seamless process, whether it's Compass One, you can go on and look to see where in the timeline we are at all times. The documents have all been signed. You have access to everything super easy. So the feedback I've gotten from clients is, oh, this is great. It's all very easy for me. I don't have to worry about anything. if we're listing a home, I know that, you know, the client's like, I feel confident that you guys are taking care of everything because I've seen it.
Yeah.
With buyers, I think it's just, you know, like you said, with first-time buyers, we try to be very, we're just very good at explaining, you know, how the process works. I think with buyers, repeat buyers, you know, they know how the process works, but, you know, laws change. I think we're on top of making sure that we're well trained to.
And then often in that time, you're also helping them manage potentially selling while they're buying.
Right.
To buy,
Which
sell,
is a whole
and then
new.
it's a whole new.
Yeah.
So they know you.
Yeah.
They have the experience. They have, you know, you guys are connected already, but now there's this whole new avenue you're going down together, right?
Yeah.
I find that repeat buyers, I find that repeat buyers who didn't use us the first time are some of my favorite ones to work with because they're always like, my last agent didn't do this. My last agent didn't do this.
I didn't know.
I didn't know anything about this.
And you've had situations where you will be listing a property and then a buyer will call you who had been working with someone else.
Right, yeah.
You know, and reach out to you.
And they're like, my agent didn't do this.
Yeah.
And like, this seems way better than what we're doing. And I'm like, well, because I mean,
I think
Adam,
I was just going to say, so I think it's a combination of the systems that we have, but then also on top of that, just how much we communicate with our clients and how on top of things we are with the people we work with.
Yeah. I think if there's one thing that stands out for me that is a surprise for our clients when they start working with us, it's that it's not just like, hey, we're helping you find a great home or helping you sell for a lot of money. They feel like they have like a partner in it with them that's like a friend and an advocate, kind of arm in arm in the journey. And I mean, real friendships and relationships are formed out of these. I mean,
that's why we do it, right?
That's why we do it.
I mean,
but like,
that's
I
the
think
fun
of
part.
all of you guys, and I think about that service and how you guys show up for your clients to help them achieve their goals. But it's like very much, you're texting with them, you know, we need boundaries, but you're texting with them at 9 o'clock at night because they have a question and they're nervous and you can't help it because you want them to win and you want them to feel good. And we kind of enjoy it. We enjoy it too, right? It's fun to go down that path with somebody.
Yeah, I don't love getting texts and calls at 11 at night, you know, for work, but I do it, you know.
I mean, at that point, I've turned my 11.
Yeah.
Come on, let's be real.
Not 11, but
9, definitely.
If you're in the middle of a negotiation,
What's the
sometimes it
latest
can be
you've
9
ever
or
done?
10.
a
Yeah,
phone call?
absolutely.
What's the latest you guys have gotten?
Probably 9 or 10. But that's like if you're in the middle of like negotiating.
Yeah.
Right? Like it
Definitely.
started at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Midnight?
Oh,
Midnight
yeah.
for you?
I've woken up to see texts at like 12:30 a.m.
But you haven't answered them.
No.
Oh, I
And half the
get
time
that.
it's
Yeah.
Josh.
Josh doesn't count.
Just kidding.
I like to
Cut.
A couple of things I do like to really focus on with my clients initially, both buyers and sellers. 2 things I really hone in on is it's like my service is one thing, but I also bring with me an army of people who can help them.
Yeah.
So I love when I can, you know, guide them towards lenders that I use or inspectors or lawyers, attorneys, painters, electricians. I think it just eases them sometimes. It eases their worry about like, what if I buy this house and I'm like, look, here's a couple of people I've used myself sometimes. I've used them or other clients have, but that makes me feel like a real valuable asset to my clients because it's, you know, they might be new here, they may have never owned before, and they don't know where to go.
Yeah.
I think that's really something that clients appreciate. And then the other thing that I really focus on is I'm not interested at all in like helping you buy or sell a house and then that be the end of it. And what I always say for those people who are like old school listening or here on the table, like I want to be in your Rolodex. You know, like you have your attorney, you have your dentist.
What's
you have
a
your
Rolodex?
I know, exactly.
Kidding.
You know, you have your accountant, you have all these professional services that you use on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That is my goal, is to be in your phone as one of those consultants that you seek out. And you may not sell or buy for another 5 years, but if you call me in a year and a half and say, hey, you know, we're thinking about putting an addition on, we're thinking about upgrading the kitchen, you know, do you know what a good value is? It's like, I want to be a consultant over the long haul. And, you know, it doesn't doesn't happen with every client, but I love when that happens, and I think it provides an added value.
Totally.
Because there's like some statistic, right? Like 80%, I don't know the exact number.
It's around 80.
It's like 80% of people say, oh, I would totally use my agent again if I can only remember her name.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they intend to stay connected, but then it just doesn't happen. And I think
that's so wild.
Right?
Like, how could you not remember? I feel like
it's such a big thing.
It's such a big thing, but it is different client to client, right?
Yeah.
Like some clients I've worked with for like over a year because what they're looking for is just really specific or, you know, whatever. And then sometimes you meet someone and they're like, oh, I made an offer next week and that's it. And it is a shorter relationship.
Yes.
And so it takes a lot more to stay connected.
Yeah.
But those people that I've worked with for a year, it would like actually break my heart if they couldn't remember my name.
You become good friends.
I know.
Right?
I have a
Like,
lot of friends who are clients. Yeah.
It is such a relationship oriented business, or at least our approach is, right? It's nothing transactional. It is about, you know, how do we show up for them? And like we think about this, look, you may buy or sell, we'll work with you. This could happen in 3 months. It could happen in 3 years, whatever's best for the client. And
It's always about what's best for the client.
yeah.
At the end of the day.
No, I'm just no, it is.
Amy needs to buy some Christmas presents, clearly. So, you know, get it closed. Here's another example of a property that we had that was sitting on the market for a bit last year. And now it's beginning of 2026, January, just like that. So we're excited about this momentum. Seems like buyer confidence is getting back in the game, and rates have kind of dropped close to a point recently. So I had a client who purchased in, I want to say they closed in July of last year, and their rate was 7. And I was talking to them yesterday, and she's like, I just refinanced and I'm at 6. So,
Which makes a huge difference in your monthly payment.
so it was $1 million loan, and her monthly is down $1,000 a month.
Wow.
That's
huge.
crazy.
Yeah.
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 Massive.
And you know what I appreciate about the story too is that the lender we referred, the Champanosian team, reached out proactively to her and said, hey, just want you to know, this is the new rate and I can save you $1,000 a month.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, what a nice call
It's a
to get.
no-brainer
What
either,
a
yeah.
nice call to get. So
I love that.
we should call all of our clients right now that bought last year.
I know. Now I'm like, actually right now I'm thinking through the people. I'm like, who do I need to tell about this? People should know. They still kind of stay a little plugged in, but I know they look to us for that kind of information for sure.
Well, yeah, that goes back to what we were talking about before, where it's, you know, it would be smart for us to reach out to all of our clients from last year and say, hey, it's worth taking a look at your rate because, you know, the rates have gone down.
Yeah.
Because people are busy. They might not think to do that, you know, but they could be saving
People
more
are
money.
always waiting, you know, like, is it going to go down
Yeah.
even more and all this? I'm like,
Right.
yeah, but if you can save $1,000 a month, if you can save $250 a month for a lot of folks, that's a big amount of money.
Because you can't think about it just the monthly, right?
No.
What does $250 a month look like over the course of 5 years, right? So,
Did you ever have that conversation with I say it all the time, and I probably should walk the walk, about making the extra mortgage payment every year?
Oh, break it down.
Yeah. So I had a client once who wanted to do a 15-year mortgage. And the lender at the time, who I'd worked with a lot, said, I would highly advise against a 15-year mortgage. And, you know, why? This was just her opinion. Maybe it was just for this specific client, was because your monthly payment is obviously higher on a 15-year, and you don't know what life brings you. So, you know, people can get laid off, you can get sick. I mean, all these things that, like, life can happen, and then you have this really high mortgage payment. She said, what I recommend is sticking with the 30-year, but just committing to making an extra payment every year, 2 if you want, but definitely 1, get your taxes, you get a rebate or refund, and, you know, write a check out to your mortgage company, principal only, and you could reduce the life of your loan at the back end, right, at the tail end. And so I often tell my clients that, like, you know, because sometimes people are like really concerned about rate and I mean, all the details. And yes, of course it does matter, but sometimes it's like, they're like, well, this rate was 1.27613. And I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, and I always tell them, I don't want to give you financial advice, mortgage advice, but talk to your lender, because I know that making extra payments towards the principal can really make a difference, which I, of course, have never done as an agent. And I always say every year I'm going to do it. And then I'm like, oh, but that vacation seems so fun. But I do offer that as something for them to think about, because I always say, don't look at the amortization schedule. Don't ever look at it.
Like, they'll make you when you close, though, and they'll print it out, and it'll be like,
oh my God.
It's like the number one tree killer in the world. The amortization schedule.
So painful. It's like the phone book.
I'm like, don't even glance at it.
Point.
But it's just another, I think it's just another little tip that, or even like the residential exemption for some people. Like, a lot of people don't know about it, and just being able to provide some insight into these little nuances of the business and home ownership.
I love the residential exemption. That's something that people don't know about when they are coming to Boston. And on this property I have right now, that's a lower priced property, if you live there, it brings the taxes down to $450 a year. People were blown away. Yeah, $450.
Then you go to like New York or New Jersey, and they're paying $20,000 a year for their taxes.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it's not like the city of Boston's coming, oh, by the way, let us give you an exemption.
Yeah.
Why don't you just sign this paper? You have to tell them.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it over $4,000 off right now?
Now it is.
I think so, yeah.
It's 4,300, I think.
Yeah.
It went up from last year to this year.
It'll be interesting to see, though, what the property taxes are going up for residential unit owners in Boston. This is the whole big news now.
For 2026?
Yeah.
You can see what it is now.
Yeah, because, the mayor had been trying to keep it on the commercial side. And so, but hey, look, to have the residential exemption is a huge, huge bonus.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about the taxes going
up,
but at least you have the
there
exemption.
is, though.
You
There is something you
abatement,
do. You could do an abatement.
Yeah.
So if you think, a lot of people who have owned property, especially in the past 10 to 12 years, you're looking at, the city of Boston will do something called an assessed value, right? And so let's say you buy a home for $1 million. There can be some years where that assessed value goes from 1 million to 1.2 to 135. And the change in what you owe for property taxes can be substantial for year to year. Now, if you feel like hey, that was too big of a jump up, you can file for an abatement, and they'll review it and bring it down to save you money in taxes, which I've never done, but I have seen some increases.
Yeah, but my question is, did it feel like 5 years ago, the assessed value was always lower than what you could have sold it for? And they have really brought the assessed values up to more of like a market value, which I think really raised the taxes for a lot of people recently.
There's a lag, right? There's got to be some element of the lag, because obviously post-COVID, 2020, 2021, 2021, right? It was like way over asking. Yeah. And so, but like the past couple of years have been a little, like they're still appreciating, but a little flatter. So maybe there's an element of a delay.
Maybe. I mean,
or maybe the city needs money. I don't know.
I'm not writing that off, because mine really jumped from being like kind of an unreasonably low amount to more
in line with where it
more
should be.
I'm wondering if it is like, I mean, it's hard to know because we're not in like the government side of things, but when property values skyrocket, like in 2021 and there's a couple of years in there, that is the value of the neighborhood, right? So it makes sense that you're not going to pay way under for taxes if you're living in a neighborhood that's now, 1.3 and over. So I don't know the direct correlation, but
it changes market to market. And so that you can go into some towns where there is a very strong correlation between assessed value and market value. And in those markets, people will call BS on you if you're like pricing here, but the assessed value's here, or reverse,
and that's happened to me in Boston, and I have to explain that it's not like that here. The assessed value, I realize it feels like you're overpaying, but the assessed value almost always lower than what the market value is. And that's still the case.
I think when I sold my 2-family for $1 million, I think the assessed value was like $640. So there's a delta. as was the Zillow's estimate, was like low sixes. So it's
Delta
crazy.
On Zillow?
I know.
Shocking.
I'm glad you brought up the 15 year, because, a lot of people, overwhelming majority of people go right to the 30-year fixed, right? And the 15 year, actually, there were times where it was a lot more attractive. And so what we see is that it's not always the same of like, oh, this is what you'll get for a rate at 30, and this is what you'll get for a rate at 15. So there are times where the delta between those two options is very significant. Yep. And you're like, oh, maybe I should explore the 15. Or times where it's like, hey, maybe it's just an eighth of a point or what have you. And it's like, no, make that extra payment. It makes no sense to take that risk. Right. And so you also really need to know, where's the market, where are the different options at today?
Yeah, it's always a full picture, right? There's always like one aspect is like the rate, but then there's like, where's the market going? And every client's different, right? I had a client yesterday ask me like, I'm getting this rate from this lender, but then I'm getting this rate from another lender. I'm like, what are you seeing your other buyers? And I'm like, look, there are a million things going, not a million, but I don't know how much my clients have in the bank. I don't know what their credit scores are. Usually I do, but we don't know every single thing about the client's financial picture, nor do we need to, right? They tell their lender, the lender kind of plugs them into the grid. And I'm like, sometimes, they could have student loans, they could have credit card payments, they could have a boat. I don't know, right? Yeah. So it's hard for me to give you where you're going to fall,
right?
Because the actual nitty gritty of it it's complex. It's not just
personal.
and it's personal. It's based on everybody's individual financial picture. So it's like and I always I'm not dodging the question. Like I don't want to not answer it, but I can't. Give you good advice. It's like talk to your lender. And
it is about bringing on the experts in every different department, the expert attorney, the expert lender, the expert inspector. Finance people are the ones who don't care about the 30-year rate. So you get, people are like, I'm not messing with the ARM, the adjustable rate mortgage, but when you've got somebody in finance, they're like, well, I'm not going to be here for 7, 8 years. This is a 5-year stay. What's that 5-year and 7-year ARM look like? Yep. And
we got a 7-1 ARM when we buy, and my husband is a finance guy.
Exactly.
And I'm always kind of encouraging people to at least look at those.
But you stayed.
We did stay.
Did you refi?
We did.
Or are you still in the ARM?
A couple times. We refied a couple times.
Because he's in finance. No,
well,
just kidding.
Rates went
way low,
bottomed out, and so we're still in that rate. But I'm always encouraging people to look at the ARMs.
They don't think about it, right?
I know. It's
the
a great
real
product.
question is, are you definitely going to want to sell this, in a few years? Do you know that without a doubt? And if you are like, yes, 100%, you should be open to exploring the different options.
But also, it's not even just that. It's if you look at how you think the rates are going to be in 10 years or 7 years, right. Do you think they're going to be way higher or way lower? And of course, no one can really predict that, but it's looking like they're going to be the same or lower if you ask most finance folks. And so it's not that big of a risk. And if they nosedive in 2 years, you can refinance. You're actually not locked into this 7-1 ARM. So I'm always saying, you feel a little strapped for cash on a monthly payment, take a look at it.
Just don't say that to a boomer. Who's then going to say, let me tell you about my 18% rate in 1981.
Yeah. And there's people who have more risk aversion than others.
I'm just kidding.
We all know those clients, right?
And most people don't stay in
Adam
properties.
knows those clients.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a client. She's not a client, but their friends, they bought a home, and they just in terms of refinancing, they refused to refinance because the wife came from a school of thought where we don't want debt, we want to get out of debt as quickly as possible, and so they have a lot of things they need to do to their house, but they will not refinance. They want to, then they're going to be paid off of their home mortgage next year, which is great. But it's interesting when you talk to people how they can have very different opinions on whether or not they like to refinance. They think that's an advantageous tool versus.
And it's personal.
I was going to say, I think, look, I never tell clients you can refinance down the road because we don't know for sure, right? If you can or if you should. So I would say it may be possible, right? Sure. But I think it is true. Like if you're dealing with, people in their 50s, 60s who are looking at like, if I refinance, I'm getting into another 30-year mortgage.
Right.
And for some people, that's not going to be appealing. And
Yeah.
they may say, I'm okay with the extra $250 a month, but I want my loan to be over by the time I retire.
that's
And, that makes sense too, right? And again, it's just so personal.
Yeah.
And I've had clients too that like will not refinance, and they're like, well, they're 5 years out.
Yeah.
They're like 7 years out. It's like, why am I going to open up a whole new loan right now to save the money when I could be done?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's something about our neighborhood or local market that you see outsiders often get wrong? Good question. One thing I've noticed is that, for example, let's say Jamaica Plain, right? If you're not local, sometimes people will say, well, I know that Pondside neighborhood, or like I'll be on this side of the Southwest corridor, but I don't know anything about over there, right? And there's so many little pocket neighborhoods here or there that are gems, right?
I know some people who think West Roxbury is part of Roxbury.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a very big difference.
That's a good one, and they couldn't be more different.
That's right.
Wow.
That happens a lot.
They are very much an outsider.
Understandable
Yeah.
why you would make that mistake.
Yeah, of course.
It is kind of.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with Chestnut Hill? What is Chestnut Hill?
Where,
Don't even
who
get
is
me started
Chestnut?
on
All right,
Chestnut
all
Hill.
right. Break it down, Adam.
Yeah.
Break it
So,
down.
Chestnut Hill is literally a combination of Newton,
Yep.
Brookline,
Yeah.
That's wrong.
and West Roxbury, which is part of Boston. So it's like
Just all little pieces
It's all-
of those
exactly.
neighborhoods
Yes.
or towns and cities.
Yes, it's very confusing. Last year I had a listing in Chestnut Hill, but it was literally on the Brookline line, to the point where one of the bedrooms was in Brookline.
Oh my gosh.
One of them was
So
not.
that kid could go to Brookline
and there
public
was a
schools,
whole
but the
thing
other
with the
kid
schools.
couldn't.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always
so
the school.
There's a
Who
literal
gets-
hold on.
Who gets that
marker on
bedroom?
the property.
Who gets the property tax?
It's both.
No.
Both
Yeah.
towns.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But it's one lot.
It's one lot.
You have to
Because
pay
it's split.
to
Yeah.
Brookline to the bedroom.
And when we went on record, we had to do it through two separate registries.
Oh.
Did you?
for
What about
God's
the
sake.
schools? Is it definitely Boston?
It's definitely Boston.
Okay.
And I mean, you
wonder
could,
if
I
you could
suppose,
petition to
appeal.
change,
Yeah,
yeah.
you could petition. My clients who listed the home, sold it, they opted not to because they have young children. They weren't in the schools, and they knew they were going to be moving before that was going to be an issue. But yeah,
Let me ask
it
you
was
something. You think if they got the change, it would add value to the property?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's
Yes.
like you just
Yeah.
added free private school tuition to this
Yes.
house.
Well,
Yeah.
so the house, this little condo that I'm selling right now is in West Roxbury's
Yeah.
Chestnut Hill.
Right.
And they're like,
So prestigious.
what is that?
Yeah.
It's West
That is-
Roxbury. With a
it is
weird
the-
zip code.
It is the strangest little enclave, Chestnut Hill. It
We should
really
find out
is.
the history of it. Just how
Yeah.
how
Oh,
it came
that's
to
a good
be.
one. I don't
You
know.
Like
Yeah.
interesting.
Well,
I mean-
go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say what outsiders, what I get a lot of questions about, obviously, is the schools, which is what we were just talking about. And,
Yeah.
I have kids who went through the whole BPS system. My daughter's in 3rd grade at a BPS school, and my other daughter's in 8th grade at a BPS school. And so I get a lot of questions like, can we live here? Can we go to the schools here? And I mean, obviously I am biased in that, yes, I mean, you can. My kids are like thriving and we've had a great experience.
Some really good Boston schools.
There are some really great
Oh my
schools
gosh.
and there are some amazingly dedicated teachers. It takes like an extra, sometimes you have to be a little more involved on the parent side. You
Well,
can't.
that's the number
Shout
one
out
indicator
to-
of success. though.
Yeah.
I mean,
To
seriously,
Amy.
in all
Exactly.
school districts, they say the number one indicator of success is parent involvement.
Yeah, and-
Regardless of where you are.
And that's true. And it might just be doubly true in BPS where it's such a big system. But I get a lot of questions about that and a lot of, can I live here if I'm going to have a family? And, I think that being the agent who has lived here the whole time and put their kids through the whole system is reassuring.
We've talked about this, and you have to have some knowledge about this if you're a real estate agent. Schools, right? And so, what is the process, right? So you're talking to a client who's got some kids, and they'll be starting elementary. They're asking you, "Hey, how does school work here?" What do you tell them?
I mean, it is a bit of a wild process. And it depends on what age your kids are. So it can really change. If your kids are not yet in the BPS system and they're young, so if they're in the 3, 4, 5-year-old range, it really is a lottery. You go on a website, you see the schools that are possible for you, you visit them, you rank them, and you get into one. K2 is a requirement here, which is kindergarten. So as long as you have a 5-year-old, you are guaranteed a spot in some elementary school. If you're coming in with older kids, it's more of a transfer. And so then it's just finding out if there are spots in the schools that you're interested in and if you can slot in. Often you can, because there's a lot of movement within BPS between schools and in and out of district. So it really just depends on what age your kids are, where you're going to live, so what schools are available to you. And then, you have to have a little appetite for risk. But I will say that in the younger grades, especially, like, I have never met anyone who's been like, man, I hate my K2 teacher. She's so awful. Or he's so, the elementary school teachers are amazing. And I feel like that's pretty.
I think it's one of the hardest things though, right? Because so many people have questions about schools. And then, like, as agents, right, we have to be able to provide that information because it's part of buying a home. But, it's also like there are still many kind of areas that I always feel like you have to kind of walk this line, right? Because we can't, we can't comment on crime. We can't comment on schools. We can't, it's like, and I get why. I mean, you're so involved in your school, but we're still not the experts for your family and your children, right? And we know kind of like, maybe general crimes, insight into like our neighborhoods, but like, I don't know. So, but it's hard because you want to be able to be like full service with your clients, be able to like give them some insight. But at the same time, it's like,
I'm full service. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly.
We have to like stay in our lane, right?
Honestly, so no, I'm not reciting crime statistics to clients. That's super legal. But like we can refer them to certain areas. But like I find that there are ways to frame things, right? And so it is not okay to say, hey, this is a horrible school. Right. Of course. It is okay to talk about like, hey, here's my lived experience with the school that I've been going to, and here's what I found it to be like. And
or BPS
I have friends at that school. BPS as a whole. So I think that
you just have to walk that line.
Do your kids do some charter school as well?
My son is in BPS.
None of them did a charter.
My son was in a charter school in
which
BPS.
Is another option.
Yes,
in
another
the
option.
public schools.
And now he's back in BPS high school.
Yeah. So what's the charter, which is another option? How do you apply for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the same thing. You apply, and we got him in at one point. He was in 5th grade, but most people kind of transferred in 6th. So we just like happened to call. And they're like, hey, I know it's probably late in the day, and they were like, oh, we have spots because nobody goes there in 5th grade. So in 6th grade, it's much more like competitive to get in.
Yeah.
So we just got lucky, but then ultimately he transferred to a BPS high school. And
so with the charter, it's not necessarily like a part of the ranking. Each one is its own.
No,
so
it's
you
its
can
own.
You can do that with BPS,
system.
but if you have a couple of charters that you're interested in, you
just
submit
apply
a separate
to them.
application.
Yeah, it's all separate.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I talk about schools, I also mentioned that there are a lot of great private schools in our area as well. So there's a lot. I feel like there are options.
Many options.
Yeah, there are options for everyone. And, part of like what I have to teach myself is to just be like, and there are lots of private schools too. and see, I mean, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but like it comes from a place of, I want people to be excited and involved in this school system, or I'm,
especially when I'm married to a public school teacher.
Yeah,
it's hard to,
absolutely.
It's hard to go, it is. And public school teachers are amazing. There's so many 100%. Great teachers out there, but it is it's definitely one of the, I think, biggest misunderstandings about the Boston area when people come in like, oh, I hear Boston public schools. And look, go to New York City, try to find a good, it's like everybody's lived experience is different. And I've had clients who've lived here and then in elementary school, they're moving out to the burbs. They're in Walpole, they're in Wellesley. It is what it is,
I think one challenge I sometimes see is, especially with some of our trade-up clients, is, they're at a school in the city, the kids are at a school here, or maybe they're entering school age, and a question comes up about like, okay, what are my options for Boston Public or move to the suburb or private, and they're navigating these multiple options all at once with different schools giving different dates for announcements. And it is a lot, right? Because you might have 4 schools that you really like in Boston and 3 that maybe are not right or further away, but you don't know which one you're going to get. But if you want to be if that's not going to work, you want to be in a suburban school, but that date doesn't align really well.
It's complicated.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
complicated. It's not easy for parents.
No.
I literally have no idea what these people are talking about.
Adam, would you tell us about finding a good dog walker?
Hey.
What about a good
Dog
the
walkers
father?
well, Jamaica Plain, as we all know, is a very popular spot for dog parents. Pets are well received in Jamaica Plain.
We got our new dog park.
We have a brand new dog park after years of having no dog park, which was a huge kerfuffle.
I think our city
What's
is
it
lacking
called?
dog parks in general.
What's the new dog park called?
Yes,
Clarity,
give the full
Oh.
break it down.
I don't even know that is
Flaherty.
Is it Flaherty?
All right.
Yeah, I didn't.
Where now
I
start
just know
over.
where it is. It's
Adam,
the
tell us-
Flaherty Dog Park. It's a great new dog park, and it has a great playground as well.
Yeah.
But we'd been in need of a dog park for years.
Yeah.
And I think it's been very well received. And the dogs seem to love it. And it's centrally located in JP, right between the Stony Brook and School Street. I'm sorry, the Stony Brook and Green Street T stations, right off of the Greenway.
Corner of Brookside and Cornwall.
Corner of Brookside and Cornwall,
So you
yeah.
take your dog for a run, and then you
Yeah.
take down a sandwich at Ula.
Yeah.
Wash that down with some fish and chips at the Haven, and you're good.
God, that's a lot of food after a run.
When I go, I talk to people who come from as far away as sort of the JP Rosendale border. People will come from like over as far as Heath Street, which is on the other side of Jamaica Plain. So yeah, it's a great park. It's been very well received.
I have to say though, having lived in Los Angeles for a few years,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I think the city is really lacking in the dog. I mean, it's like funny because it's a really friendly dog city. Like
Yeah.
even JP, it's like a super friendly.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like I feel like the number of dog parks is like scarce and minimal.
Could it be the colder weather?
I don't
No,
know.
New York City has a ton.
Yeah, New
Yeah,
York City
it's a
has
good
a
point,
ton.
good point.
It is. You're right.
Yeah,
It is.
I mean, I'm glad for the one in JP, but
Yeah.
I feel like in so many other cities, they're just
Good
like
point.
they're there. They're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
at every turn.
Yeah.
You're
It's
right.
just
There's
it's just
not
a
as-
piece of grass.
There's not as many.
You know, I
There's
mean,
not
this
as
upkeep and whatnot, but
Yeah.
I just feel like it's an area that
Boston's a smaller city than people realize.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go to some of these cities that you're on the highway for 5 hours and then still in the city. And
Mhm.
Boston, you're like,
we're out.
we're out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Worcester.
Another thing I think we deal with too is like transportation, right? Like I know there's a lot of talk around like the MBTA over the years, but you know, people who have like migrated from like downtown, Back Bay, South End, they're looking at JP, and then JP maybe feels a little like not as affordable for them, and then they start looking at Rosendale, and then they start thinking about like, well, how am I getting into downtown? I mean, I got the commuter rail here, but then I got a bus, and that I think becomes one of the things that we have to kind of dispel, like how it works for clients, right? Because like West Roxbury is certainly less accessible by public transportation, but yeah, it's a pretty popular area for people. So it's like, you know, and then you're looking at like, do I commute? Well, maybe it's probably easier for me to live in Natick if I commute, because I can literally hop on the commuter rail and just go straight in versus West Roxbury, or, you know, parts of West Roxbury that don't have access to the commuter rail line, right? So I think that becomes, it's like now you're looking at, okay, like all the things we manage, right? Helping people like deal with not only finding the house, but like what's a good school option for your family. And, you know, one parent has to, you know, or one person in the family has to commute downtown. And, you know, all of these things come into play as we're helping people just buy a house.
That's true.
It's a lot, you know.
All right, let's warm it up here. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to do some quick hits here, hot takes. Adam,
Yes, Josh.
favorite Get ready. Favorite dish at any restaurant in Jamaica Plain? Go.
Okay. So I've recently been eating a lot of pizza from Mario's.
It's delicious.
And I just tried their Sicilian pizza.
I gotta
love
try it.
Sicilian.
Which
I
was
love
very
Sicilian
good.
too.
Oh, so doughy.
I would recommend Mario's Pizza.
Yeah, good call.
It's very good. It's very popular, but it's not as hard to get as Tonino, or which is like almost impossible.
Tonino's a different kind of experience.
It's a different kind of experience. So I would say on the spot,
And
Mario's
but
Pizza.
backstory is Mario is kind of a spinoff, or what, like a pizza chef from Same Old Place, right? Originally, then opened. You don't like Same Old Place?
I've spent many hangovers.
And
at
they
Same Old
are-
Place,
I
and
was,
I love it.
I was like,
I
don't say
love-
anything negative.
No, I love Same Old Place.
But the pizza is very different
yeah.
than between the two.
It's like a
They
quick
grew up
slice.
around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
And-
wife did. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? There's some Portuguese food as well on the menu. Careful, don't get that hot sauce. That hot sauce will
I
had
tell
me
you,
and
I
my kids
haven't
crying.
had-
Oh,
I haven't
man.
had it in a while, but Same Old Place.
Yeah.
Their chicken salad.
Is that your favorite dish,
Oh.
Maria?
No, but like just a casual, go
Yeah.
in, get a slice of pizza.
I'm gonna get that.
I
now.
remember, and I haven't had it in a while, but their chicken salad on a sub with lettuce
Yeah.
and tomato, just wrapped up in the white paper.
I think my stomach
Was
just
to
rumbled.
die
I'm actually
for.
starving, but I will say Brassica just opened up
Yes.
their new
Mhm.
spot,
And the
Okay.
Camille Dogwood spot.
and they are doing pizza now, and it is amazing.
Really?
Their
What's
pizza
the
is so
style?
good.
What style is it? Like
They do.
oven?
They have some Detroit, but it's all brick oven.
Detroit!
They have some Detroit pizza that was so good that
Wow.
I was almost like, it's not what you go
Have
to
you guys
Brassica
had
for.
Detroit yet?
I mean,
'Cause I just had my
talking
first
about
one.
it, so yeah.
Well,
But I just want to make sure
At
you
some
guys
point,
know how
yes.
good this
Yes.
is.
It's
Oh my
so
gosh.
good.
You're
It's
talking
so
to a
good.
New Yorker and an Italian.
I
So you
understand,
can't convince
yeah.
me about
I-
any other pizza.
Well,
But they also
I'm
have
scared.
Italian.
it's like Sicilian, right? But right?
It's different. It's
But
a
it's
different
different.
thing.
That crust. Oh
It
my
was-
gosh.
is the
I'm-
old Brassica space, is that now just a wine bar?
Nothing yet. I think that they're trying to focus on their new space as of right now.
Oh.
And
So the old space
the
is
old
closed.
space is just nothing at the moment. And I actually
didn't know
don't know
that.
what their plan is moving forward. But every time I walk by Brassica, this is at the bottom of my street, so I see it a lot. It is packed.
Good.
It's, even with the they must have tripled the amount of people
Yeah.
that can fit
Yeah.
in
Oh,
there at
easily.
a time. And
Yeah.
it's still so full. And we went and it's still, it's delicious.
Oh, that's
Okay,
great news.
What's your single favorite dish in JP?
Oh yeah. It probably is at Brassica, but it's maybe their.
The Korean fried chicken.
The fried chicken at Brassica is amazing. We get the Brussels sprouts every time.
Yeah.
They
Love
are
a good Brussels
delicious.
sprout.
They're so good. I just think all of their food is really fun. It's
Do you know what
really
they
good to
do?
share.
You go out to dinner at Brassica, sometimes they just bring you out an extra dish.
Yeah.
Like the chef has sent this out for you guys.
Yeah.
One time they sent 2 dishes out for us. We were speechless. Like, thank you.
So in addition
Good
to
service.
pizza, has the menu expanded more now?
It's the same kind of. It shifts.
Mhm. Because it's
based on
a
this
fairly
season.
small menu.
It's not a big menu, and I think that's kind of their thing, so it's
Mhm.
remaining that way. But it changed a little from the last time that it was at the old restaurant to now. I definitely think everyone should go. We signed up to go there on Valentine's Day, which is on a Saturday this year.
Nice.
So, and we never do anything for Valentine's Day. I was like, let's just go.
I think I saw that posted up.
Mhm. Yeah. So we're excited that they just bring you food, so we have no choices. So we'll see how
Okay.
that goes.
I am a.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. I was going to say I'm a big fan, huge fan. I think I might be the only person who eats it. Is JP seafood?
Oh,
The sunshine roll. No, the sunshine roll.
Oh, what's that one?
Tell us.
Oh, it's to die for. It's just got a little tiny piece of lemon in it. And it tastes like eating a ray of sunshine. It's just light and citrusy. Can't remember what fish is in it.
Fish is it?
I know, just a little lemon essence. This is a sushi roll.
It's
rice
a roll.
and lemon.
It's
Lemon peel.
salmon. I honestly don't remember what fish, but it is so good. It's
I-
a sunshine roll.
I would
I
put
don't.
JP seafood.
I'm gonna question that this is your favorite single dish in all
I
of
love it.
Jamaica Plain.
No,
If you can't tell me what's in it.
It just I can't remember the fish.
Well,
It's
I
so
would say
weird.
that I would put
I
JP
Google it?
seafood
I was
sushi
gonna say.
up.
Right.
with
Okay.
any
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on.
That
Sushi
roll.
plays
So
a must.
JP
I agree.
seafood sushi, the lunchbox specials.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Best deal.
You get everything, type of meat or or you can have vegetarian, but lots of little things.
Yeah.
Put it all together.
JP seafood is really good.
It is good.
It is good.
It's really good.
I'm just gonna push back on not knowing what fish is in it because
Well,
I
aren't there
agree with
many
you.
things in it?
But
No.
here's the thing: it's just this little hint of lemon that it's like it's just so different. Like I love a good Philly roll. Like I'm a Philly roll girl.
You like that
Is that
cream
what-
cheese?
I love the cream cheese. Yeah,
Like,
see, I'm
no.
weird. I'm weird. No, I love it.
No, a lot of people love that.
I love it.
Oh yeah. A lot
So
of
this
people
is
love
a really.
I do.
I
I do not
will.
love it.
You know what? Let's all go. I'll buy you.
I will
sunshine
tell
roll.
you this.
Right, I'm starving.
If there were a stock to buy that were around salmon avocado sushi from JP Seafood,
Yeah,
like
so good.
our family would lift that stock
Yeah.
up
Ours too.
from what we consume
100%.
alone.
Mine as well.
I need you to do a silent Google on the sunshine roll.
I was gonna do it, but I didn't want to.
What's your favorite dish?
Do it.
You know I could never say just one. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Come
hard. 'cause
on.
that
It is
makes-
hard,
That
yeah.
made them a
Very,
Vivi. I mean, what a
very
cool menu in
hard.
Vivi,
Yeah.
right?
Vivi got the fried chicken
Gosh.
Tuesday nights. I really do love that JP Seafood lunchbox. I really, really love it. And I love the burger at the Haven.
The
The
Haven.
Haven's
Burger's
got a
good.
great
Costello
burger.
has a good burger.
I love the ambiance at Tres Gatos.
Yeah, oh,
yeah,
yes,
that's
yes,
so
yes,
good.
yes.
Hawaiian bar,
On
little
there.
bar there.
Oh my gosh. Get a little tortilla española.
Yeah, that's a great
Oh my
spot.
gosh.
Casa Verde.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not doing well here, guys.
There's a lot to
I
choose
mean,
from.
hello.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk for 20 hours about Tonino if you guys would
No.
like.
Didn't you also
That'll be
send
fun.
something recently that there's going to be a new pub opening? Is it in JP or is it going to be here in Rosendale? I saw that you sent a link probably about a week or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is
Which we don't
In
have. We need one, like a pub.
Rosendale on Center Street. There is a pub. Honestly, I haven't been there much or at all, called Kelleher's.
Kelleher's.
Yes. Have you been?
Oh, I mean, a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't.
We used to have a pool table.
Oh,
I
so
think.
it's not new. I thought it was a
It
new.
is.
Oh, it is new.
It's
No,
just-
that's the space.
that's
Oh, that's
the
the
old
space. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I believe the new owners of the restaurant are a couple people that worked at Porter Cafe in Westy.
Right.
And so I think they're opening this new spot any day now.
That's by the.
I hear they've got some interesting like meat pies and whatnot, but it's supposed to be awesome. Have people that are in the know say it's going to be awesome, so we all need to check that out soon.
Yeah.
I would like to do, I think the Muncey Group should explore some of like the local dives that are like not the
Got ideas,
brassicas and
Carrie.
the VVs. And like, there's a couple of really cool, just like casual pub style.
I mean, Galway? Come
The
on.
Galway
Well, that's an
House,
institution,
right?
but
Like, it's
forget about it.
it is so cool.
I actually don't think I've ever been in there.
That's
Shut
outrageous.
up.
The front door.
Outrageous.
No.
You're
I
leaving here.
I knew
Leave
I was
the
gonna
table.
get. I knew I was. gonna
They have a
get it,
steak
yeah.
salad that's
You-
also pretty
Amy
good.
just got her Mayor of Jamaica Plain.
Yeah.
title
Revoked.
You're
Goodbye.
out. You're out.
But first of all, there's a lot of places. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot, right? But some of the the ones that don't get like the attention because they're not like
Only
trendy
the true
or
people
you know what I
know.
mean? Like
Yeah.
just a real and they're dives. Some of them are just like cool, hang out, like shoot
Let
a
me
game of
just say
pool.
this. This may be a controversial statement, but there's not a lot of Chinese food options in JP.
No.
And the
But-
best one just closed.
Which one?
JP Seafood. I mean, not JP Seafood. Sorry.
Food Wall?
No. That's not the best one.
No.
I
but
used
what
to eat
else?
food all the
Food
time.
wall, me too.
What?
That was
Whoa.
The one over that was right near English High.
Doyle's?
Yeah.
That's better than JP.
Definitely.
Than
Wait,
Food Wall.
I know Food Wall's not high
Why
quality,
can't I
but
think of
my
what
No,
it's
that
called.
takeout Chinese food is what you're looking.
This is what I'm
that's
talking
Yeah.
about, and it was the best. And JP Kitchen. JP Kitchen.
I didn't do a lot of that. Okay.
So good. It was so good. We
yeah.
are so depressed about that.
So
I
where do we
have
go
to
now?
look
Because
that
that
up.
is a really good
You can go. You
Us
can
New
do
Yorkers.
Mandarin Gourmet, which is in Putterham
Yes.
Circle.
See, I
and
just
Brookline.
like that.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I think it's
That's
And
a
if
good
you
one.
want to level up, obviously, but spend a little bit more money. You got Bernard's and
Well,
Chestnut
yeah,
Hill.
Golden
It
Temple.
costs
But what
an
about
extra
the
buck.
quick takeout ones?
There's not a lot of those.
Like the
Love
food walls. I haven't been there in a while. Is it still good?
I wouldn't ever. This again controversial.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would call Food Wall
Good.
good.
Right.
But I mean, it was satisfactory.
Yeah.
I used to get it all the
Because
time.
those quick takeout ones are like, sometimes my kids just want like
Just a hole
Chinese
in the
food.
wall.
We
Like
just
hole in
went to the
wall.
one
Yeah.
here, like, what is it, Hong Kong 88 or something, right by Green
Oh,
Street?
by
by-
Green Tea. By
by
Green
Green
Tea,
Tea,
yeah.
yeah.
I've never been there.
And it was decent. I mean, I thought it was like pretty good for like
That kind of Chinese
that
food.
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
Chinese food. Yeah.
We're not allowed to put this out if we're saying
Canning.
a restaurant's
Yeah.
only decent.
Yeah.
Like we
No,
can't.
that's true. Don't put that there, but
Wait.
I'm just trying to see if we could come up with a good one because I could use one.
Did
'Cause
I
we
give
tried-
a favorite dish? I said the Haven
You
burger.
said, yeah.
you said a bunch.
And the
And
box.
No, I
It's-
suck.
the lunch
I'm
box.
so
Yeah.
indecisive. The lunchbox.
It's hard to pick. There's a lot of good eating around
Right, I
here.
could have talked a lot more about my favorite food. And
Sorry.
behind your head.
oh, there's a snow.
I'm just gonna do it. Oh wait. Oh no, it gets in the camera shot. Sorry. I'm
I did move in for a minute.
I mean, they're
It'll still come up on my mic.
they're plowing the entire
Street.
Time check.
It's 2.
It is 2.
Yeah.
Dang, I had one
Let's
thing
do
and I
one
lost
more.
it.
Oh,
No, it's to follow up. Something good was said. Oh, Carrie, I really respect what you said about the different dives. I have this dream of doing a burger slam or something like that. Like you take the Haven Burger, Costello's, all of the different spots. What's the one at the corner of Pond Street?
Oh gosh, yes.
That used to be the burger
Yes.
place.
The joint.
The joint.
You got the
Yeah.
joint.
Did a party
You
there.
get them all. We lay out 10 burgers here and declare an official winner once
Well, you
and for
just
all.
cut them in,
Yeah.
cut 'em
Well,
in
you
5
cut
or
'em
6. You
up
have a little
into
bite of
eighths.
each.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah.
I am down with it.
I
because
also would be down
We
with
could
that.
also do a pizza one.
I love a burger.
What-
Pizza's another
we
good
could do a
idea.
taco one. We could do
Yeah.
chilicates. We could do
Costello's just reopened.
Acholitos.
Oh, Acholitos,
Yeah.
yes.
But Costello's has a partnership
It's
with Boston Burger Company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Yes, they have burgers that have mac and cheese on
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
Mhm.
tater tots.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
I mean, I
I
don't
have a
want
picture
that
of
much stuff on my
because that was my first meeting with clients.
Oh.
They were new to town. I said, "We'll go like somewhere casual. What are you into? Like
Really?
beer and burgers." I'm like, "Oh, let's go to Costello's." Met them there. I'm not kidding. It was this big.
That's
The burger was
It's a great
this
first
big.
meeting.
It was hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
Right.
Yeah, if you have never been to the Galway House, you definitely
I know,
have
and I've
go.
been to Costello, so it's not like
Oh.
I've been to everywhere
It's
else.
like
I feel.
stepping back in time.
Time.
Yeah.
It's like
really
the
is.
Pleasant in Roslindale.
Yeah.
I mean the Pleasant
Yeah.
Cafe.
There's whatchamacallit, it's not a restaurant, but around in Hyde Square, just around the corner there, next to the tattoo place. The
Bean.
Brendan Bean, yeah.
The Bean.
Yeah,
That's a
Bean.
good spot too.
Yeah, I've
They
been
have a
there.
nice outdoor space that I think is relatively like a couple years old,
Yeah.
but that's a good spot to go
I
to
have
as
friends who've
well.
been going to the Bean every Wednesday for 20 years.
Really?
Every Wednesday.
You're kidding?
That's amazing.
What's
they
happening
go,
on
they have
Wednesdays
a
at the
pint, they
Bean?
grab burritos, and they
Right,
they
because you
just-
can bring food into the
yeah,
Bean, right?
They,
Yeah.
they do burrito Wednesdays. They grab a burrito, and every Wednesday go in. They
Wow.
have a pint. And
The other place I haven't been is Mike and Patty's. And
Oh, yeah, that's a
I
good
know, I
spot.
Okay,
haven't
so
been there.
I was neglecting them for a bit,
Cirillo.
and now I am obsessed.
Oh, yeah.
The best breakfast sandwich in the world. You know,
Alright.
they
Do you
call
remember
it
Cirillo's?
grilled
Yes.
crack, of course.
I love
yeah.
Cirillo's.
Best
so many
pancakes.
places to
Yeah.
miss.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
to be too
But
There's
I've
well,
heard of other
that's a whole
places.
other thing. Yeah, all the places that have closed. Some good
Yeah.
ones.
So, obviously, right now, mid to late January, let's just say it's suddenly July 3rd, my birthday. No, I'm just kidding. We're post spring market. We're looking back. What's your prediction? What stands out to you about like what happened this spring? I'll go first. I think we're going to have an increase of sales volume. More transactions happen because I think we're seeing more buyers, and I think some of the sellers are going to get off the sidelines. That's a quick gut.
I think that the buyers who get going early are going to be really happy that they did.
Yes. Good
I
call.
think it's going to
Yeah.
get more competitive as we like into March. And,
Yep.
And the early people are going to be glad that they jumped in early.
I agree. I think it's going to be a very busy spring market, busier than last year, more buyers, more listings. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty robust couple months coming up.
All eyes on me, huh?
Yeah.
I think complete opposite. No I'm kidding. I do agree. I think we're going to get started early, and I think things will stay busy through the end of June. That's my gut. Is that like
All
sometimes
the way. Wow,
I
it's a
think
long
so.
market. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've already put 2 deals under contract just by sitting here today.
yeah,
so, in the time we started this.
I mean, oftentimes when we start early, I think we kind of wind down. I mean, there's only so much momentum you can have.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly optimistic still about and I agree with you, Amy. I mean, if we can get our buyers off the sidelines, and I tell them like, look, we could do it. We could do a lot of things. We can't predict, right? We can give our best estimates based on our experience, our market watch, but we know now that it's better now than it is in the spring, and that's always the case, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the height of the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow. So what I hear is actually, I want to steal your predictions and use that as mine, but it's just so true. When you say buyers off the sidelines and you're saying kind of lock in early, when you think about it, what happens when you do see some of those bidding wars and buyers lose out, right? As the spring market goes along, they get more and more and more aggressive. And so getting ahead of that a little bit can save you 5 to 10% on your purchase price.
And I mean, I think that one of the reasons buyers are hesitant to do that, right, is they want to know what's coming down the down the pike. Like, are we going to see something better? Are we going to see something better? And I always
FOMO.
say, there's a little bit of that. And I always say, it's like, it depends who I'm talking to, but sometimes I'll say, I bought and wore the first wedding dress I tried on.
I use the wedding dress example all the time.
Sometimes. Yeah, and
I did too.
And sometimes when you know, and there's
You know. It's like
there's
buying a car. You know the right
you
one.
just know.
I've always bought the first house that I never went home shopping for myself, but you.
Now, the other thing is like, never mind spring market, but I have a client who's in a lease until September, and she's like, I don't know if I break it now. I'm going to see if I can break it or if I have to pay. And I said, look, do the numbers because you may spend, and she's lucky that she can do it, but you may have to, if you have to buy out your lease even, right? Like by the time you close in May or whatever, June. But if you stay and you spend all the money in rent, the house prices aren't going to be where they are now at the end of 2026 either. Like, Boston real estate doesn't go down. It always goes up. So if you're like, well, let me, sit out my lease for another year. Well, it's like, where are you losing or saving the money? If interest rates happen to go up, or if they trend up, or prices will go up. And then you could just do it now, cut your losses. It's hard. It's very individualized, but I think that's what we do
something we
is
should
guide
talk
them.
about another day is the renter moving to buying. It's a question that comes up a lot this time of year, especially because so many leases end at the end of August.
All right, well, this is the gang. This was our first podcast-ish filming, and if you guys have a topic that you'd like us to discuss, throw it in the comments and we'll bring it up at our next filming. That's it.
Or maybe a guest we should have on.
Yeah.
Or a guest.
We'll eventually have guests.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.